All right, guys. Let's find your seats. All right, we have two speeches. We're doing announcements in between. We only have one speech. We'll do announcements now. Any faculty? Yes. Other faculty? Any students? Healy.
Track and field championship starts today at McDonough. So if you see someone on the team, just wish them good luck.
Others? Grant? Yeah.
So next Saturday, May 18th, from 1 to 3, Gilman is hosting our second annual Coffee and Cars. So just put that on your radar now. Talk to you. Golf goes out against St. Paul's at Elmbridge today. I know a couple people are coming out. If you do, just make sure you stay off the fairway, shirt tucked in, and be gentlemen. And to add on that, underclassmen, if you guys are interested in going, Mr. Shattuck is able to take a bus. Just come down here to the front right after this so we can see how many people. I think right after bump, you guys will be able to head out and sort of catch the match. Any others? All right.
Please welcome today's senior speaker, Luke Sabrakis.
Good morning. Almost a year ago, I was helping my mother get ready to sell our house. The house I had lived in for all 17 years of my life, the center of my universe. This place was my home. As I sat in my empty room to say goodbye to my house for the last time, I listened to a song called To Build a Home. The lyrics to the song go as follows. There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors, walls, and windowsills, tables and chairs worn by all of the dust. This is a place where I don't feel alone. This is a place where I feel at home. The loss of my childhood house prompted me to wonder where else I could go to feel at home. After a lot of consideration, I realized that I have a second home here at Gilman. However, I haven't always felt comfortable or accepted here. Now imagine feeling like you don't belong in your own home. When I was 12, I was on vacation with my dad and my sister in Ocean City. As we walked through the hallway of the condominium we were staying in, I brought out a pink bouncy ball that I had just gotten from Five Below. I was really excited because this ball was supposed to bounce super high. As I began to bounce the ball while I walked down the hallway, my father turned around to me and said, "Why'd you get the pink one? That's so gay." When I went to my mom and asked her why he would say that to me, she said, "It's probably because he's scared that you are gay." This moment for me was the first time that I realized I was in the closet. Because of the fact that I didn't think I would be accepted by my parents, I turned to Gilman, the place where I felt comfortable. At the time, we were in middle school, and my friends and I didn't really care about anything other than when the next mixer was or who was going to Hunt Valley that Friday. However, as we came into my freshman year, things began to change. One day, I was sitting in CT20 with my friends when I heard someone say the words, "That's so gay." It was then that I felt the overwhelming fear that I would no longer be accepted here at Gilman either. So suddenly, I had two environments, my house and my school, where I felt like I wouldn't be accepted. These were the only places I knew as part of my everyday life, and I wasn't even able to be myself in either of them. I perceived that to be a man in the Gilman community, I would have to conform to the standards presented to me by my straight athletic peers. When my father would go away, I was expected to be the man of the house. I couldn't show vulnerability or allow others to see my authentic self. For me to be a man in society, I had to follow a certain set of rules that don't even really exist. For me to be liked at school, I had to actually act like someone who was not really myself. In sophomore year, we had a speaker come talk to us about masculinity. He sat all of us down in the annex and had us write down on a whiteboard all of the traits that we think make a man less masculine. So I sat at a table amongst 4 of my peers as they proceeded to write down almost every single trait that described me at the time. The fact that I sang, did art, was in the musical, and was in Traveling Men. All these things that I did to be a part of the Gilman community were actually alienating me even further. So from that point on, I worked as hard as possible to fit in with the crowd. I would avoid being seen with other members of the Traveling Men. I wouldn't put energy into my performances in an effort to be more chill. I would even speak in what my friends like to call my straight voice, which is a voice that's like 2 octaves deeper than my own. I put up a front so that I wouldn't stick out or be unique in any way, so that I could fit in with the masses. But why? Why would I sacrifice who I am deep down to conform to someone else's standards? I did this for so long that I actually forgot who my real self was. You see, I had hidden myself in so many different ways that at that point, I couldn't even accept myself for who I was. And that was the exact problem. But then, I took a moment to stop and reflect on my time here at Gilman. I realized I do know who I am. And I'm my most authentic self when I'm with the people who love me and accept me completely. In my experiences at Gilman, I've been able to truly feel authentic when I'm with my best friends. Friends like Gray Johnson, Nick Allen, Ben Levinson, Max Cortese, Danny Gurung, and Michael Melvin. These people were revolutionaries, heroes in my eyes, because they were so comfortable in their identities, they didn't care what anyone else had to say about it. When I'm with any one of them, I feel comfortable and loved, and their love shows me how to love myself. I came to a realization that I knew who I was before those people came into my life. I hadn't brought up the courage to introduce myself just yet. When I looked to my friends to see how they navigated the world effortlessly and with pride, it allowed me to see myself among them, proud of who I am and unafraid to show myself to the world. My parents didn't mean to scare me away from my own identity. They just didn't realize how much their words would play into the fear that was already building up inside me. Today, they could care less how I want to express myself, because nothing can change the unconditional love that they both have for me. Those kids in CT20 didn't realize how much their words would inadvertently hurt me. They said those things out of a spew of naivete and immaturity. We were kids with a lack of exposure to the schemas we had formed in our heads. And now, I think of those kids as some of the most kind and genuine people in our senior class. All of these people didn't mean to alienate me, but whether they knew it or not, their words led me to a place of distancing myself from the community. It wasn't until I really discovered myself among my true friends that I realized the person who was most responsible for making me feel like I didn't belong was myself. When I stopped fearing what made me different from everyone else, I felt free and relieved of the stress and fear that had plagued me for being unique. Mr. Smythe, Mr. Hubeck, Mom and Dad, teachers, classmates, and friends. Home is wherever you make it. Home is a place where you feel most comfortable. It is the center of your universe. It took me a while to realize this, but you do not have to spend time worrying about fitting into your own home, because home is a place where you can be your most authentic self and not have to worry about how others will perceive that authenticity. Gilman has always been a home for me, whether I knew it or not, because the community played into my struggles with identity. There were, more importantly, people in the community who helped me in my biggest time of need. I know that no matter where I end up in this world, I will always be able to look back at Gilman and see a place where I feel at home. Thank you.